which are offered in the Vedas as fruitive activities, Karma Kanda. 9, to instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. 10, to not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy name, and to maintain material attachments even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to quickly achieve the desired success, Krishna Prema. So once again, I thank everyone for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Let us move on to the next session, that is Srimad Bhagavatam class. May I know who all are joining the call today?
हरे कृष्ण भगवती वसुधा माता जी, दंडवत प्रणाम शिला प्रभुपाद की जय, गुरु महाराज की जय, प्रीतिदासी फ्रॉम शार्लोट। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna, Preeti Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga, and all the assembled devotees. This is Yashamati Priya Devi Dasi from Chicago, Elgin.
Hare Krishna, Yashamati Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji, for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Bhagavati Vasudha Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. All glories to all the assembled devotees on the call. This is Harita from Missouri City, Texas, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Harita Mataji, for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Bhagavati Vasudha Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Vinita Gandharvika Devidasi from College Station, Texas.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji, for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Bhagavati Vasudha Mataji, Danda Pranam to you and all the devotees. All glories to Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj. This is Mohini Lakshmi, right?
Hare Krishna, Mohini Lakshmi Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji, for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Bhagavati Vasudha Mataji, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. My humble obeisances to you and all the devotees. This is Krishna Kumari Devi Dasi from Raleigh. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Kumari Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji, for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Bhagavati Vasudha Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga, and all the glories to the assembled devotees. This is Manjri Leela Devidasi from Naperville. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Manjari Leela Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji, for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Dear devotees, is there anyone who would like to introduce on the call today?
Hare Krishna Bhagavati Vasudha Mataji, Dandavat Pranam to you and all Vaishnava. Srila Prabhupada Srila Gurudev ki jai. Vrinda from Atlanta, Paniyati Dham.
Hare Krishna, Vrinda Gopika Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji, for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
Mataji, I'm starting recording. I think Sundarangi Mataji is not there today. You can read the introduction I sent in the group, Mataji, the playlist. You can just click on that and read it. I'll start the recording. Is that okay, Mataji?
Sure, Mataji.
Okay.
Okay. I welcome all of you once again. Thank you everyone for joining today's Bhakti Sangha conference call. Yeah, today we are really fortunate to have this day's BrajaMohan Prabhuji enlighten us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam. Verse 8 point. Okay. Here I go with Prabhuji's introduction. His Grace BrajaMohan Prabhuji is a monk, a life coach, and an inspirational speaker. Prabhuji is a disciple of His Holiness Radhanath Swami. Maharaj and a resident monk at ISKCON Chowpatty in India. He is a student mentor at the Indian Institute of Technology, Bombay, where he also earned a B.Tech degree. Prabhuji has a Master of Science degree in Quantum Physics from University of Illinois, Chicago. BrajaMohan Prabhuji has given seminars on science, spirituality, leadership, relationships, and self-development. He has been speaking on various topics at prestigious universities and at several corporations in the USA and in India for over a decade. Using ancient wisdom for current dilemmas, his messages inspires the audience to think deep, act right, and live full. So here is the short introduction about Prabhuji. So we are really fortunate to have BrajaMohan Prabhuji in our Bhakti Sangha conference call. Today's topic is Srimad Bhagavatam 8.5.7 to 16.
Yeah, I don't see Prabhuji on the call, Mataji. We will pause the recording here. You can wait for him. Yeah.
Yeah. If
Anyone?
anybody wants to introduce, they can introduce Mataji.
Yes.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Shama Gauri Devi Dasi from Charlotte.
Hare Krishna Shama Guru Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji, for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna Bhagavati Vasudha Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. My humble obeisances to all the assembled devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji. Sorry, Mataji, I got late for the seva.
Okay, Mataji.
This is Sundarangi Radha Devi Dasi from India. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Sundarangi Radha Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna devotees, is there anyone who would like to introduce on the call today?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Danvat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Valli from Naperville, Chicago. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Valli Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining Bhakti Sangha conference call. Hare Krishna.
Your Mataji, Prabhuji is not even speaking. I don't know.
Mataji, what did you say?
Which is not there.
Oh, I did not hear what Shamagori Mataji said. That's okay.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Rama Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Rama Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama
Hare Krishna
Hare.
Mataji.
Yes,
Prabhuji said to read the verses, Mataji.
okay, ma'am. Should I continue reading, Mataji? Is someone
Yeah.
reading?
Yeah, can you share the Sanskrit?
Okay, sorry, Mataji. Okay. Yeah, go ahead, Mataji.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Shadasya Chakshusha Putrasya Shisho Nama Vai Manoho Puru Purusha Satyumna Pramukasya Shatmajaha. The son of Chakshu, known as Chakshusha, was the sixth Manu. He had many sons headed by Puru, Purusha, and Sud, Sud, Sudyumna. Okay, sorry, Mataji.
Just trying to start the recording, Mataji. I paused it, right? Okay, I'm
Should
putting
I
it
read
in.
again?
Yeah, keep reading, Mataji. That's okay. You can read all the verses.
Indro mantraद्रुमस्तस्य देवा आप्यादयो गणा मनो मूढयास्तस्त्र वैराजन् हविष्यद्वीरका दयः. During the reign of Chakshusha Manu, the king of heaven was known as Mantradrumna. Among the demigods were the Apyas, and among the great sages were Havishwam and Viraka. तत्रापि देवस्तं व्युत्यां वैराज्यस्याभवत् सुतः जितो नाम भगवान् अंशेन जगतापतिः. In this 6th Manvantara millennium, Lord Vishnu, the master of the universe, appeared in his partial expansion. He was begotten by Vraja in the womb of his wife Devasambhuti, and his name was Ajita. Payodim. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yeah.
Hare
Please.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
You can read, Prabhuji. Verse
Okay, check. Verse 9 or 10?
10.
Verse 9, Prabhu. Dandas Pranam, Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisance. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for giving your valuable time and association in this Bhakti Sangha conference call. We are really fortunate
For
to
being
hear
late.
from you. No, Prabhuji, we were just reading. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for your association.
Another meeting, so just rushed.
That's fine, Prabhuji. Yeah. Really fortunate to hear from you on this topic of Bhagavatam.
Yes. So we continue?
Over to you. Yes, Prabhu, over to you.
Okay. पयोदिं येन निर्मत्य सुराणां साधिता सुधा ब्रह्ममानोपसिद्धिता कूर्मरूपेण Mandara. By churning the ocean of milk, Ajita produced nectar for the demigods. In the form of a tortoise, he moved here and there, carrying on his back the great mountain known as Mandara. Shri Rajovacha Yata Bhagavata Brahman Matita Kshira Sagara Yadardam Va Yataschadrim Dadaram Bhucharatmana Yatamritam Surai Praptam Kim Chanyat Abhavat Tata Etat Bhagavata Karma Vadasva Paramadhutam. King Parishit inquired, O great Brahmana Shukadeva Goswami, why and how did Lord Vishnu churn the ocean of milk? For what reason did he stay in the water as a tortoise and hold up Mandara mountain? How did the demigods obtain nectar, and for what other things were produced from the churning of the ocean of milk? Kindly describe all these wonderful activities of the Lord. Text 13. Tvaya sankatyamaneena Mahimna sattvatam pate na tripyati me chittam suchiram tapatapitam. My heart, which is disturbed by the three miserable conditions of material life, is not yet I think it is satiated with hearing you describing the glorious activities of the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the master of the devotees. Shri Suta Uvacha Samprishto Bhagavanevam Dvaipayano Suto Dvija Abhinandya Harir Viryam Abhyachashtum Prachakrame. Shri Shuddha Goswami said, O learned Brahmanas assembled here at Naimisharanya, when Shukadeva Goswami, the son of Dvaipayana, was thus questioned by the king, he congratulated the king and then endeavored to describe further the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Shri Shuka Uvacha Yada Yuddhe Surair Deva Badhyamana Shitayudhai Gata Savo Nipatita Notisteran Smabhurisha Yada Durvasa Shapena Sendralokastrayon Tripa Nishrikas Cha Bhavam Statra Nisur Ijadaya Kriya. O Shukadeva Goswami said, when the Asuras with their serpent weapons severely attacked the demigods in a fight, many of the demigods fell and lost their lives. Indeed, they could not be revived. At that time, O king, the demigods had been cursed by Durvasa Muni. The three worlds were poverty-stricken, and therefore ritualistic ceremonies could not be performed. The effects of this were very serious. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. It is described that while Durvasa Muni was passing on the road, he saw Indra on the back of his elephant and was pleased to offer Indra a garland from his own neck. Indra, however, being too puffed up, took the garland and without respect for Durvasa Muni, he placed it on the trunk of his carrier elephant. The elephant, being an animal, could not understand the value of the garland, and thus the elephant threw the garland between its legs and smashed it. Seeing this insulting behavior, Durvasa Muni immediately cursed Indra to be poverty-stricken, bereft of all material opulence. Thus the demigods, afflicted on one side by the fighting demons and on the other by the curse of Durvasa Muni, lost all the material opulences in the three worlds. To be extremely opulent in materialistic advancement is sometimes very risky. The materially opulent person does not care about anyone, and thus he commits offenses to great personalities such as devotees and great saints. This is the way of material opulence, as described by Shukadeva Goswami. Dharma, dhana, durmadanda. Too much wealth makes one blind. This happens even to Indra in his heavenly kingdom, and what to speak of others in this material world. When one is material opulent, he should learn to be sober and well behaved toward Vaishnavas and saintly persons. Otherwise, he will fall down. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshuru Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Karamayam Tadati Swaparantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajata Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostude Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sude Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna devotees that assemble daily on the daily Japa Sangha class and Japa. Thank you, Shamagori Mataji, for inviting me. It's been a while that I could take all of your association. And this is a wonderful beginning of a chapter that is so important, filled with so much lessons for our life. The beginning of the Samudra Manthan. And as there's a lot of verses, but initially the verses focus on Manvantara, how the different Manus, the leaders of mankind, who are the Manus that came, and definitely because they were the leaders that were guided by the scriptures, it is very much relevant to know about their lives. Because when we know history, then we can try to avoid it. Therefore, it said, those who do not care to know the history are doomed to repeat it. And time and again, the Bhagavatam, the Puranas, the Itihasas, they have been teaching us the dangers and the pitfalls that great personalities in the universal history, silly mistakes, inattention, or because of pride, neglect, that has caused their downfall. What are some episodes that you can recollect apart from this that is being discussed here? An apparent neglect or something that caused something great just to tumble down. Examples in Bhagavatam or say in the history. Wanted to keep it, to make it little interactive. So devotees can either unmute and speak or
Coming in the chat, Prabhu.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Dhritarashtra neglecting Vidura.
Dhritarashtra neglecting Vidura. Okay. And that led to his downfall. He was trying to give him caution of the path he was going, and yes.
Lord Indra neglecting Brihaspati. Is it right?
Indra neglecting Brihaspati, just like here, Indra neglecting so Indra neglecting Brihaspati happens after this. First he neglects Durvasa, and before the Samudra Manthan Lila, and after the Samudra Manthan Lila, he disrespects his own guru. So disrespecting a saintly person before the Samudra Manthan Lila, and then not this, and then to his guru it was not disrespect; it was a neglect. With Durvasa, it was a very graphic disrespect. That Durvasa Muni came there, and he, out of appreciation for Indra, he gave him his garland, and right in front of him, the elephant Gajen Airavat, he trampled that garland, and Durvasa, felt insulted and cursed that you will lose all this grandeur, and your pride will be powdered. And then later, after he loses the kingdom, and then then Lord Vishnu gives us the idea of doing Samudra Manthan. Then later, they neglect Brahaspati, their own teacher, and Brahaspati doesn't say anything. If he thinks that in times of need they are approached, but now in times of good times they have forgotten even to stand up, and he just leaves. And it was the same time when the Rakshasas, the Asuras headed by Bali, were taking shelter of their guru, Shukracharya. And Shukracharya definitely, is not counted as a pure devotee. Although Krishna in the Gita, among Kavis, I am Ushana Kavi. He says, I am Shukracharya, the Kavis. So Krishna definitely, there is the splendor of Krishna is there in Shukracharya, but being the Asuras guru and him being motivated, Shukra means semen. So somebody who is wanting to secure his family and his progeny and his own, and being insecure for his own progeny, trying to advise, or being materially motivated teachers. So, but still the principle of respecting a teacher, respecting a superior is so important that they worshipped and they respected their guru, whereas here they neglected to offer obeisances to their guru. And this kind of mindset and attitude didn't attract the blessings of Brahaspati, though he didn't curse. But the effect was there that they started to lose their potency. So in the chat, some devotees that are posting Bharat Maharaj. Yes, Bharat Maharaj. Today when I was sharing that Bharat Maharaj, so elevated, but then he didn't neglect anyone. In fact, he was overindulging, overprotecting the deer. In Chitraketu, yes, definitely Chitraketu, laughed at Lord Shiva's apparent contradiction of having Parvati sit on his lap, at the same time speaking to a group of sadhus, renunciants, sannyasis. Daksha insulting Lord Shiva, Indudumna neglecting Agastya Muni, Ramapad Maharaj neglecting Balaram. Ramapad Maharaj neglecting Balaram. What episode is this? Can you? Is it Romapad or is it Romaharshanas?
Romaharshan.
Yeah, it's Romaharshan. Because Romapad Maharaj is different. Romapad Maharaj comes in Ram Lila, in Ramayana.
Okay.
So, This is Romaharshan Sutta, neglecting Balaram. So long back, I remember in 2005 or 6, there was a class given by His Holiness Radharan Maharaj. And in that, he was making a very, very important, powerful statement. And it was this episode, I don't know if it was the same verse, but it was this episode that was being discussed in the class. And then Maharaj made this point that Vaishnava etiquette is not a matter of detail. It is a very core, essential principle for our progress or for our destruction. And we know, a small neglect by one of the Goswamis disturbed their meditation on Ras Leela. I think it was Jiva Goswami or Rupa Goswami who was meditating, and in his meditation, his chanting, he was seeing the Leela of the Lord, and suddenly it broke. He didn't understand why it broke. And then he approached Sanatana Goswami. And then Sanatana Goswami, he said that maybe some Vaishnava was passing by and you might not have received him properly. You may not have welcomed him. Or maybe some Vaishnava who might be limping, and then apparently you being absorbed in the Krishna Leela, you might be smiling, and that devotee might have got offended that he's smiling at my limping. So then Jiva Goswami asked, then how do I rectify this? Does anyone remember, was it Jiva Goswami or Rupa Goswami?
Rupa Goswami.
Yeah. And then, Sanatana Goswami said, we don't know whom we displease, so just feed all the Vaishnavas wonderful feast. And whoever Vaishnava was displeased with you, hope he comes and he honors the feast, and then he forgives, and you beg forgiveness from each Vaishnava. So in this, so Bhagavatam again and again, and in Chaitanya Charitamrita again and again, this such an essential principle of following the Vaishnava etiquette. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is said that Vaishnava etiquette is the ornament that makes a devotee beautiful in the eyes of Krishna. We may be a Vaishnava, but if we don't follow the proper decorum, follow the proper Vaishnava etiquette, then in this world it is so easy to misunderstand. It is so easy to make a narrative that never was existing. Just today I was hearing something that happened, that there was some devotee's marriage, and he was inviting different devotees with giving cards, but he's not that well to do, so he didn't print that many cards. So he just posted in the group of devotees that please to come for the marriage. And then but then he saw that this devotee in his own apartment complex, and there were two devotees that were staying, and so he verbally requested this devotee to come for his son's marriage, and he didn't give any card because he was not carrying many cards, so he didn't give any card. And this devotee assumed that the other devotee was given a card, but I'm not being given a card because it was just few days before marriage, and it was his main task of inviting people and taking offense. Not, I'm not personally invited, other devotees invited. This devotee didn't go to the marriage, whereas the other devotee went to the marriage. So that even substantiated his thought that maybe they were given the card, and so therefore they went. And why should I go? Because I was not invited with the card. Because in India, you may be aware that it's a strong feeling that unless you are given the invitation card, these WhatsApp forwards that please consider this as a personal invitation doesn't work. Even now, that so, and when that devotee felt who was invited, he wondered that why did this such a close devotee didn't come for the marriage, and then he expressed it to some devotee. Someone else asked him that why didn't you come for the marriage? And I said, I was not given a card, where the other devotee was given the card. And that was recommunicated back to him. And he said, I didn't even give the card to him. There was a very close family friend, relative, and to him I had to give the card, and to the two other devotees I didn't give the card. But a misunderstanding that one devotee was personally invited, I was not invited. And these kinds of small misunderstandings ruin the Vaishnava Samaj, Vaishnava society, because we very easily assume and don't clarify. Therefore, it said, when we assume, we make a as out of you and me. As, you, me. That's assume. It is assumptions, it is expectations that ruin relationships, that ruin the wonderful fabric that exists between devotees. And sometimes we are helpless. In the Indudumnas Maharaj was just offering deity worship to Agastya Muni, and Agastya Muni took offense. Therefore, in this world of Kalaha, in this world of misinformation, quarrel, is there a way by which we can actually be protected from Vaishnava Aparadh, or from Vaishnavas feeling insulted, or not feeling respected, or feeling neglected? We try our best. We try to follow the Vaishnava etiquette and try to be as respectful and try to be as cautious. But then, whether it be Parikshit Maharaj, whether it be Indradumna Maharaj, whether it be Rupa Goswami, intentionally, unintentionally, they happen. But if your intention is pure, and we take shelter of Krishna, and we approach this with humility, not with arrogance or not with self-righteousness, then Krishna protects the devotee. Krishna, apiche suduracharo bhajate mam ananyapa sadhureva samantavya samyak vivasito hisa. That if somehow or other one commits a blunder, commits a mistake, but if his intention is pure, if his intention is proper, then I reinstate the devotee back to his position. Therefore, we should be very careful at passing at comments on devotees' apparent mistakes or their fall downs or what happens because we never know what is the intention and what is the narrative, and so therefore being extremely reserved. Therefore, it said, in appreciation we should be very generous, and in criticism we should be very frugal, as frugal as possible, and only if it's required in a required way, that we try to convey. And still it may result in some kind of backlash. But the devotee like Parikshit Maharaj, what mistake did he do to receive a curse to die in 7 days? But it is not about what happens, and it is not about always the justice. The Bhagavad Gita is about standing for ourselves. If there is an insult, injustice that has happened, Krishna does not want his devotees to just allow it to happen at the cost of dharma prevailing. And especially if it's something that is going to affect the society at large, then or our own self-esteem. Arjuna was willing to give up and go to the forest. But Krishna, he said that if you allow injustice to happen to yourself in the name of compassion, in the name of mercy, then how can you do justice to others? Injustice upon oneself and justice to others is not the solution. Because when you don't act according to your nature, when you don't stand for what belongs to you, then that will creep in dissatisfaction. Because something that you know is your dharma, you are not allowed to do. And not following one's dharma will result in dissatisfaction. And dissatisfaction is the root of all sin. When we are dissatisfied, it is when we commit mistakes. It is when we commit, we just blast something because there is deep dissatisfaction. And because the root of sin is dissatisfaction, and if you continue to compromise or suppress yourself in pleasing others, somewhere or other, it will get blast. It will come out in a greater proportion than it should be. Therefore, Krishna didn't allow Arjuna for compromise, and he asked him to stand for justice. At the same time, the higher levels of Bhagavatam, higher levels of spiritual realization of Bhagavatam is where Parikshit, he could have fought for justice. He could have said this is not the worthy punishment for the mistake that I have made. But he accepted it, knowing it as the will of Krishna, and knowing that for the punishment, that for the disrespect that I have shown, even this is I am worthy for that. Therefore, a Vaishnava doesn't pray that I'll commit sin and I will let Krishna, please let the result of the sin not come to me. The devotees pray that in all situations, let me remember you, Krishna. Yes, Maret Pundari Kaksham, Sa Bhaya Abhyantara Suchi. That, oh Krishna, whatever may be the situation, let me keep you and serving you as the prime importance for my life, rather than focusing on why this has happened or how can Krishna do this to me. So it's a very, very important, stark reminder. And as Prabhupada mentions in the purport, often when we get success, often when we get wealth, often when we get knowledge, often when we get fame, that we tend to become neglectful, hurtful to others. And it is the rich and process, either spiritually or materially successful, that tend to get puffed up, that see a downfall. Therefore, Prabhupada said, Prabhupada writes in the purport that better to be always meek and approach Vaishnavas with great respect, not take them very casually as mundane. Vaishnavas also may commit mistakes because we are in the material world, but then deal with it very cautiously, only if we are given that right. And herein we see Indra, being puffed up. He gave to his subordinate, Gajendra. And so often this happens that it is not the direct disrespect that happens. So many times between the spiritual masters or between the leaders, there is no direct animosity or trouble. But you give a task or a responsibility or a blessing or a project to your subordinate like Gajendra, thinking he will feel it as a blessing, but he saw it as a burden. He saw it as a disturbance. That why is my senior giving me this? And then he shoo it away. He disrespectful. Like some sannyasi gives, some guru gives a service to a disciple, that you go and serve this particular devotee or do this task. But then because it is coming of someone or not somebody else's task, then you don't pay much attention to that, and then you tend to offend. The devotee is displeased with your attitude or the way you have done very superficially, and then that causes hurt and then downfall. So therefore, herein we see Durvasa was an outsider to Swargaloka, and a cultured society is where how an outsider, somebody who's may not be part of your society, is respected, is dealt with, because he doesn't carry any power or position in your circle. How is he dealt with? I think therefore it is said somewhere in the Bhagavatam that the 5 classes of society, the cows, the elderly, the teachers, the children, and the women, how they are dealt with, shows the standard of culture in a society, standard of respect in a society. Because often these 5 tend to be neglected or taken for granted or used or abused. So even in the Yadu decline of the Yadu dynasty, there are some sages that came to visit Krishna, and the subordinates like Gajendra, not Gajendra, what is this? Airavat disrespected the blessing of Durvasa Muni, and the Yadu clan, the children, disrespected or made a mockery of the sadhus or their blessings, and then it became a cause of the entire destruction. Therefore, we have to be very respectful, and we should be cautious that if not me, those who are under me, like when the 4 Kumaras were not directly disrespected by the Lord Vishnu, but it was Lord Vishnu's subordinates, Vishnudutas, who disrespected, or they saw it as disrespect. Immediately Lord Vishnu went and on their behalf begged apology. Then showing upon his it was between him and you, and I didn't do anything. I mean, so many times we push the blame on others. Although the leader is ultimately responsible, it is a leader who should beg forgiveness and should try to rectify. But when the leader acts this way, then it brings even more downfall, because you are not taking responsibility of what your subordinates or what you people under you have done. Therefore, leadership, being a king, being in charge, is then everyone's actions, the behavior, it's ultimately the accountability comes from the leader. So this is another lesson we can take from this particular episode. One is, how do we deal with Vaishnavas, with sadhus, with devotees, and how, in spite of all our best intentions, also their mistakes happen. We took some episodes, and then how it is success, it is fame, it is glory, it is money, or it is knowledge that can make us puffed up and tend to neglect other devotees who may not have these skills, qualities. And the other is how it is not direct offense, it is through our subordinates whom we have delegated the task, that they make a blunder, and then the whole entire community suffers. And also, often it is the outsiders that we sometimes even ISKCON, that we tend to speak disrespectfully about some other sampradaya, some other teacher or guru. It has to be dealt with very respectfully, especially in today's social media age. Whatever we speak can go viral. And what Bhagavatam is speaking is not something just an episode, but it is a very important lesson to be cautious of, so that we can protect ourselves, protect the community. I'll stop here and see if any devotees have any reflections or questions.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for this very wonderful session, giving more importance on the etiquettes of Vaishnavas, to be very sensitive to all the things. It is not the details, it is the basic principle that each and every devotee should follow, so that they can progress and will not get any hindrances in their progress. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Request devotees, if they have any questions or comments, they can go ahead now. I also heard once one of the Ravnath Swami Maharaj lecture speaking about anger. So when a devotee is having a valid reason for the higher purpose, even that anger is in the service of Lord. So can you please explain such reverse scenarios, that where we see something is not generally Vaishnava etiquette is also an required thing?
Yes, this other extreme, where we see a blunder or a trouble coming up, but then in the fear of Vaishnava Aparadh, we don't correct, or we tend to correct because it's an offense. We tend to feel it. No, it is my right to just blast or correct because there is a mistake or blunder that is done. So to be angry in the right way, the right thing, is important. We know how Lord Srila Prabhupada's father, he used to become angry on Abhay, but then explain him and tell him that I need to correct you because it is for your good. Clarify him the reason. So, and is there any other places where Lord Shiva became angry on Daksha and removed his head? And we have many episodes like Lord Krishna in in so many of the killing of the asuras, and also the whole Kurukshetra war. Prabhupada says, how can one fight if one is not angry? You cannot fight with a very peaceful countenance. Only if you are angry, you can actually kill someone. But being angry at the same time, doing it for the right purpose, and not having any personal vengeance or frustration, it is for the benefit of the society, that you use anger rather than being used by anger. So it's difficult, definitely, but better a temporary inconvenience than a permanent damage. Many times we tend to neglect or postpone corrections, and these tend to become more and more troublesome to the person, to the community. Therefore, Vidura, I had suggested, Duryodhana was born, he is going to be a troublemaker as per the omens. Better we sacrifice him. Better we leave him in the forest, because for the sake of a family, an individual can be sacrificed. For the sake of a community, a family can be sacrificed or foregone. For the sake of a nation, a state or an area can be foregone. And for the sake of the world, a nation can be sacrificed. And ultimately, for the sake of saving one's soul, the entire world can be sacrificed or renounced. Renounce the entire world if the world is not conducive to one's bhakti. So yes, anger, Vaishnava etiquette is important. And it is, Vaishnava etiquette is a mark of respect, and respect means concern also to help that other person, and but it has to be done and respectfully. Yesterday I was reading Chaitanya Bhagavat, and in Chaitanya Bhagavat this episode comes where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in ecstasy after coming from Gaya, taking Diksha from Ishwarapuri. And in his Vyakaran classes, he's only teaching about Krishna, Narayan, everything. And all the students are bewildered. What is this happening with our teacher? And then the students, they respectfully ask, yes, everything, the essence of everything is Narayan. But then if we don't learn Vyakaran, then how will we lead our lives? Please teach us practical grammar, practical knowledge. At that time, Mahaprabhu, he says that I am not taking you away from the knowledge, from the Vyakaran. I am giving you a deeper foundation. But the students were not ready to just accept that, because Mahaprabhu was at a level that the students couldn't grasp. So then they go to his teacher, so they complained to Mahaprabhu directly, Lord Chaitanya, when Nimai Pandit was not willing to understand their point of view. So then they had to approach a senior Vaishnava. They approached Nimai Pandit's teacher, Gangadas Pandit, and then conveyed him, a student, like our teacher is behaving this way, he's speaking everything as Krishna, Krishna. How will we learn our Vyakaran? And it is quite wonderful to see. So he doesn't undermine Lord Chaitanya, Nimai Pandits, or his teachers, their teachers' position, because then they will not respect Nimai Pandit. He simply laughs. Gangadas Pandit only laughs, and he says, okay, I will try to explain to him. Please bring, and you please bring him tomorrow along with you. So then they bring Vishwambar, Lord Chaitanya, to Gangadas Pandit. And then Gangadas Pandit, he logically tries to discuss with Nimai Pandit that is it that studies are against bhakti? If studies are against bhakti, then were your father and grandfather Nilambar Chakravarti, Jagannath Mishra, were they fools to study Vyakaran and logic? And are they not devotees? Why are you thinking that not learning the mundane knowledge is against bhakti and not teaching them? So and one needs a practical knowledge. This is there in the Chaitanya Bhagavat, along with devotional mood and devotional absorption. So please teach them both. So do not deprive them of both. You may be appreciating only bhakti, but they need both. So please do both, and then he sends them away. Of course, there is a further dialogue that Mahaprabhu and Gangadas Pandit have. But then, how do we resolve when some devotees, or apparently the Lord himself, is not doing what was expected from for the students? So, following the Vaishnava etiquette and not taking it very aggressively, in a very tense way. When everything gets tense, taking in a sportive way, through proper channels is very important. Even if there is a need to correct. Maybe a long answer. Sorry for that. This episode just clicked to me. Just a few days back, I was reading this.
Yes, Prabhu. It helps a lot in all the ways. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for giving this detailed answer. There are some comments, like they are thanking you for the wonderful class. Sundarangi Radha Mataji is telling that. Thank you so much for the wonderful class.
Thank you.
And
Thank you. It's all borrowed knowledge, sharing, borrowed wisdom.
there are any questions or comments, you can, Harita Mataji, you can please ask your question.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances, Prabhuji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Prabhuji, I have this question, like we never know, like we intentionally we don't want to do any aparad, but sometimes it happens and we don't know that, and that repercussions we might face. So how to overcome those, Prabhuji?
Therefore, regularly feed all the Vaishnavas. Ensure that we have good cordial relationship with devotees, and be open because often what happens is that devotees don't take feedback positively, and when we tend to not take positively, then everybody fears isko jaake kaun samjhe, who will go and give feedback to this person. But if we are open and if we are pleasing the devotees, then that's one safe way. And of course, having a mentor, counselor, or a guide who can from whom we can take that, and consulting with them and checking with our guides if our behavior, methods, everything is appropriate or not. Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji. Thanks a lot. Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
So Randy here because I have something to attend
Yes,
to now.
Prabhuji. Yes,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna, Prabhuji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for the wonderful class, and thank you so much for coming on the call, your time and association.
Thank you. Will pay obeisances to Prabhuji and all the Vaishnavas. Vancha kalpa tarubhyascha vipasindhu vyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo
Vaishnavebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo
Srimad
namaha.
Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai,
Ki
Jai.
Bhagavatam Prabhuji ki jai.
Jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji,
Jai.
for your valuable
Jai.
association.
Thank you.
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna.
Thank you so much.
Radhe Radhe.
Jai Ranga.
Radhe
Jai
Radhe.
Ranga. Hari Bol.
Hari
Hari Hari
Bol.
Bol.
Thank you very
Radhe
much for
Radhe.
joining today's Srimad
Radhe
Bhagavatam class.
Radhe.
We'll meet tomorrow.
Radhe
Radhe
Radhe.
Radhe. Hari Hari.
Radhe
Radhe
Radhe.